But what did Zach Bryan do?
Zach Bryan, Jack, do you know that like
did he bang a bucket of KFC chicken? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Hill to Die On podcast. I'm Greg Melly.
I'm Grace Lobo.
And welcome back to another episode at My Friend's Basement. We have Jamie in the background, of course, Maxim in the background as well.
Yep.
The fans have been going crazy for My Friend's Basement.
Going crazy.
A lot of good feedback.
Yeah, I would say so.
You know what I mean?
I'm going crazy for it as well.
I'm a fan.
I like the fake plants. This one here is kind of
Why you gotta call them fake?
Sorry, I can tell.
Like they can't see if they're real or not.
We're kind of in a basement. Since we've been here, they've shown us multiple human skulls.
The one had gigantism, which I said is my third favorite tism.
Really? Can you rank them?
No, I feel for the it's
I'd
too
love
early to say
I'd love
something
to know
controversial.
Yeah, you're right. Let's
you know what I mean?
That. At the end, your public apology could be ranking all your isms.
A hint: autism's number one.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I can't think of another one. I can think of plenty of isms, but I can't think of tisms.
After watching Love on the Spectrum, dude.
Sure. Have you watched the newest season?
Yeah, that's the only one I watched. I haven't seen one or two, but I saw three.
This is the first time you've watched Love on the Spectrum. What did you think?
It's hilarious.
It's
like heartfelt as shit.
It's both. It's like
super heartfelt.
I think it's like the best show.
The
of
Milk
all
and
time.
Chardonnay, like come on.
No, okay, well I haven't watched the season. Don't ruin it for me.
Oh, then why are you talking about
my
it?
favorite is the gold digger character. I don't.
Grace, we haven't seen the same season. Why are we still talking about
I think she's still
the
in
show?
it. Jaclyn, have you seen Love on the Spectrum?
Yeah, all of it, but I don't remember.
Do you know
who you're talking about.
the girl who's like really into anime?
Oh, the animation girl, Danny.
Oh,
Danny.
Yo, Danny is
Danny's
a
gold digger.
salute McGee. No, dude, she's not a gold digger. She's trying to get pounded.
She's a
the
gold
fuck
digger
out.
in the first two seasons.
You got to watch season.
She goes on these dates with these guys, and she's like, "He's nice, but what's he?
How big's his dick?
What's he gonna do? All he does is go to Comic-Con. He doesn't. I need a guy who makes money."
Nah, dude, season 3, I'll spoil it.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
She wants to have sex.
Okay, well.
Isn't that hilarious?
No, I think that's actually, I get why. I would also break up if
right,
my boyfriend
but you
didn't
don't
want
have
sex.
autism.
That we know of.
And you're also not dating that dude who only speaks in cartoon voices.
Okay, yeah, I haven't watched enough this season. Okay, my favorite is Connor.
Which one's? Oh yeah, the Trump family.
No.
Are they a Trump family?
No,
that's
yeah,
the guy.
they are.
That's the guy in South
No.
Carolina.
Connor is a Trump
They are
family.
a Trump family.
I think they all are kind of Trump families.
Oh, they're all Trump. Yo, here's it. Listen, we were not going to talk about this, but now that we're here, I had a scientific correlation that I found through watching Love on the Spectrum.
Again, and I want to emphasize that Greg says scientific correlation.
No, it is. I fact checked it over Harvard thesis projects. Every single, no, I did. I swear to God, I did the research. Every autistic person on that show has a smoking hot mom.
That's 100% true.
100%. There are some. I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
God damn. Like those moms were like, God was like, you got it all. I gotta hit you with something.
Yeah,
I gotta hit you with a curveball.
You gotta be, if you're gonna be this hot.
Bro, they were ridiculously hot.
They're all really hot.
Like they were so hot where you're like,
really hot.
I would still bang them if knowing the outcome.
Greg. Greg's like working hard to be offensive.
I'm not.
You're giving them a compliment.
My sister has my nephew's very autistic,
and
my
sister's
sister,
hot?
yeah, she kills it, dude. She's taking bar. She looks like me. That's a win-win.
She looks like
she has red hair.
There we go. She's
you know
red
what I mean?
hair. Yeah.
Greg has famously said that he thinks he would be a great dad to an autistic person.
Yeah, I think it's coming.
I actually think you would.
I think it's coming because it, like, as the great Shane Gillis would say, it just nicked me. Like I just got out the way of it. You know, I barely dodged it. You know, it's like when you're a baseball player and you're in the batter's box and you get hit, but the ball only hits your jersey. Like you still get to go to first base.
Yeah, it's
but
like
you're
Trump
not
getting shot in the ear.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Except this actually happened.
Your I guess future wife is gonna be a big fan.
Right. So Jack and I are definitely gonna have
Jack.
but it's my favoritism.
You're not Republican. You're hot enough to have a kid with autism, but you're not Republican enough.
Not yet, but I think something about it.
Yeah, maybe.
My sister's like the most liberal person I've ever met, though.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, all really, really hot moms.
Yeah.
And all of them are like genuinely hilarious.
They're all really funny.
Really, really
I really
funny.
like their.
Some of them are annoying as shit. But...
Well, and honestly, because having a disabled sibling, it reminds me of my family because the vibe is like everyone loves Trump. But also
the one through line is all these moms would bang Tucker Carlson.
Like, yeah.
That's so funny.
But I feel like in our family it is like, yeah, like we love Greg, obviously, but it's my brother's name is Greg.
We don't have to do it every episode.
I feel like, what if there's a new listener? Maxim doesn't necessarily know.
Right, you're
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like, see, I think continuity is important. My brother named Greg uses a wheelchair, and it's like we joke about it all the time, and people are sometimes like, "Whoa," and it's like, no, what are you gonna?
Yeah, like he's used to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
like okay, so you've been watching Love on the Spectrum. I love on the Spectrum,
dude. Yeah, I'm just
that.
like, there's so many different reasons to watch.
You gotta go back and rewatch the first. Like, do you know the couple that loves lions?
Abby the one you don't like. He doesn't like Abby.
Oh, Abby's I don't like her. I don't like her. She's annoying.
I mean, yeah, she's annoying.
Because she's also like the least autistic one out of all of them.
I don't think that's true at all.
No, she is.
I don't can't rank them like that.
No, I got all of them ranked on how many percentages of autism they have in my head.
Jesus Christ.
No, I don't dislike Abby, but like she's so domineering. And her boyfriend is just the sweetest little panda bear you ever met.
You just hate
Is
women.
that a bad thing?
No.
Yeah, Greg just hates women.
I just like have like a mutual relationship.
Greg only likes women if you're a hot mom who is a kid with autism.
That doesn't talk.
Who voted for Trump.
I mean? Yeah. Yo, those moms are every time we're watching it and then we meet the family, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Everyone in Connor's family, the one.
Yeah, they're all hot.
They're all hot. Like all the siblings are hot.
I don't want to say that because I don't know how old they are.
No, they're in college.
Are they all? Okay, yeah, they're all hot.
I'm not like, oh yeah, they're hot. I gotta hit them up. But I'm like, I hope they watch our podcast. Wink, wink. Like, no.
But if they do want to hit me up, no, that whole family's hot, and also not a lot of dads in the picture.
Okay, Greg is trying to slide into these moms' DMs.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's out of the possibility.
It's like I would be a great father to a kid with autism.
My nephew's
something I've trained for my whole life. My nephew's autistic is you being like, I actually have a lot of black friends. It's like, that's crazy. I like that though.
Yeah. Oh, those moms are hot. Who else is on the show? I like Tanner, but I could never date him.
Sure.
You know, he just like, there's too much. Yeah. Like I say something and then you say what I said in a question.
What do you, there's this one. God, you have to watch all of them because there's one in the second season where there's one girl, she's like, obviously it's a spectrum. I would say she's on the less autistic side. And she goes on this date with this girl who's not on the spectrum at all. Because sometimes they pair them up with other people with autism.
It's the worst.
And they paired this one girl up. And the girl who was like the non-autistic person who was on it was like, she was so sweet and like was really into the girl. And at the end, she was like, they were like, do you guys want to go on another date? And the non-autistic girl was like, yeah, I'd like really like to see you again. And the autistic girl was like, I'm actually okay.
You're actually
I
weird.
see you more as a friend.
Yeah, you're weird.
I was like,
shit.
That girl though is in such a crazy position going on the show.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
it's a lose-lose.
If you say no, you're being like mean and people are going to be like, wow, that girl's such a bitch. She didn't want to go out with the autistic girl. But also if you say yes and you get rich, like you're so fucked.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose. I love that.
I was briefly on Tinder. This is like years ago. And there was a guy that like a profile that came across that was like a guy in a wheelchair. And I was like, I bet nobody, this is like me having my disabled brother. And I was like, I feel bad that like.
People definitely
do. But I was like, he also seems like a nice guy, whatever. And
why? Because he's in a wheelchair?
Well, he's got a cute profile.
See, that's the thing that everyone's like, oh, I'm sure he's a great guy. Why? Because he can't walk.
No, honestly, this is me being like fucked up. Because then I was like, oh, it was the deciding factor towards swiping. Because I was like, oh, that would be like shitty to not do. But then he didn't match me back. So I was like.
He was like, nah, she's retarded.
And that was Craig. Craig.
We're just getting started, guys. We got a lot of content today.
We're getting started. Okay, so how have you been otherwise? You've been watching Love on the Spectrum.
I've been pretty good. Jack, how have I been?
Tell Grace about your night last night.
Your night. I heard you had a big
okay.
Night.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Craig's like talking all this shit about people with autism now. He's like, he just has a handler. Jaclyn.
Now that Jack has a mic,
yeah,
I'm not answering questions before she allows me to answer.
Okay, good. She's your lawyer.
It's PR.
Yeah, that's smart.
Last night was good. So I have a serving job, right? And a lot of famous people come into my job or whatever. And there was a country singer yesterday that came in. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Look at the camera. Look at you. A country singer came in last night. I never knew who this dude was.
Can't make eye contact.
I never knew who this dude was. I'm telling you, just you make eye contact with the wrong things. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. All right, a country singer came in last night, and I was like about to trade my section. I decided to keep it. Whatever. This dude is so annoying.
Sure. Like, are we gonna say his name on the podcast?
Yeah.
Now? Okay.
Yeah. It was right. I can't say it now. Right after calling him annoying. I love this guy.
You can say it. He's controversial.
Yeah, he is.
Who gives a shit? I don't care about controversy.
I don't think you're gonna get in trouble.
You know what I mean? So a country singer named Zach Bryan came in. I thought the whole time it was Zac Brown. Sure. And have I ever told you my story about Zac Brown Band concert?
I don't think so.
Okay. Right after this, maybe I'll get into it. So he comes in. The check goes up to like $284. It was. Sure. And I was like, yo, like, I hope he tips. My manager's about to kick him out because of how loud he was. I was like, yo, don't kick this dude out. Make him
This
pay
guy's
the bill.
famous. This guy's
Please
rich.
just
Yeah,
make him
yeah,
pay
yeah.
the bill. I will, like, please. I cannot lose this. He pays the check, $600 on top
Holy
of
shit.
284. So he just gave me 884, and I was like, I love
That's
country
fucking
music.
awesome.
I'm a big, and I just found out it was Zach Bryan, and I was gonna go up to him and tell him about this crazy story, but then I realized he's
like
only
a
a
$4
year
tip
older
on
than
that
me.
one. Yeah.
He's only a year older than me, and I was like, yeah, this dude wasn't on the road. At
Have you heard
17.
any of his music?
No, I don't
Now
know.
you gotta
what
be
it
a
is.
super fan. I mean, he gave you a lot of money.
Yeah, but like I don't want to.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
So I mean,
He's-
last night before I had to tip out, I made like $1,200. I've
That's-
never cracked $1,000 in a
So
night.
this is the most you've ever made.
Yeah.
Hell
And
yeah.
dude, you gave me $600.
Let's go out to dinner.
Right. That's why I was like to Jack, I was like, yo, dinner's on me.
Wait,
dude.
you know what's crazy? We got lunch before this. We split it.
3 ways.
Three
the thing about
ways.
me is like when I have no money, I'm like, yo, check's on me.
Yeah.
But it's a cash only place. I don't have any
That's
cash.
what happens to people. No, that's what happens to rich people. When you have no money, you're like, I'm gonna be generous. Once you have the money, that's when it all
I like how
changes.
we're like talking about
Money's changed him. $1,200, you guys. It's changed
in a day.
him.
I should have worn sunglasses to this episode.
I have them in my purse. If
I
you
would've
want.
been-
Yeah.
I would have been badass, dude.
It would've been badass.
All right, so have you heard of the Zac Brown Band?
Yeah. Honestly, I also cannot tell the difference between Zach Bryant
Yeah.
with a T and Zach Brown.
Right.
I know songs by both of them. And then also because isn't
they all look
Chicken
the
Fried
same.
a song by Zac Brown Band?
Yeah.
But then there's like Brianna Chicken Fried is
Zach
like
Bryant dated Brianna Chicken Fried.
That is so mean of them to do.
Wait.
That's so confusing.
I didn't think that. Wait.
Do you know
heard-
this?
Well, Jack was like, "Oh my god, that's," and I was like, "Whoa!"
I
don't know what
texted you, so
said.
there was no way I said it in that tone of voice.
That's how I read your text.
That's a new effect on
Jackson,
iPhone.
every
You can
time I get a
send-
text from Jack, I'm like, "Good morning. It's nice to see you. How are you?" And I'm like, "God damn."
You love me. Shut up.
I know. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hi, good morning."
I love you
nice.
more.
That's how I read my text to Jack. I'm like, "Hi, work was okay. I did okay."
God.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've never been happier to be single.
Yeah, no. I don't know who this
It's better
guy
than
is.
the Cat Williams voice.
Mm.
What's going on,
Nice.
baby? Good morning, Snow Bunny.
You can't do it again.
It's illegal.
Whatever.
Okay, so Zach Bryan, Zac Brown Band has a song called Chicken Fried.
But
and
what
then
did Zach Bryan do?
Zach Bryan, Zach, do you know that like
Did he
tea
bang a
of this?
bucket of KFC chicken?
No, he dated a girl who was like Brianna Chicken Fried on is right or is it something that's like her name?
Yeah. I don't really
I
know
don't
much
follow
about it.
But it's very confusing
that's
to
her
me
name.
because the Chicken Fried element of both and the fact that they essentially have the same name is, as a non-country music fan, is pretty. They all kind of look the same.
No, every country singer looks the same except Darius Rucker.
Yeah, and like Reba McEntire.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
She's a redhead, so erasure.
You are so annoying.
I know.
So Zac Brown, okay? When I was 16 years old,
Yeah.
I never drank before.
Okay, cool.
So this was the first time I was
Narc.
ever going to drink, right?
Sure.
We were going to a Zac Brown concert at the Susquehanna Bank Center, what it was formerly
Nice.
called, in New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
We're going to get there. We're going to tailgate. We have all this alcohol. We're going to drink. We're going to have time to hang out and then
Right.
go.
Sure.
Train, everything got us so late. So we
Yeah.
only had 40, 45
Who's
minutes.
Who's we?
Me and like my high school buddies.
Okay, cool.
We only had 40 to 45 minutes before the concert started to drink.
Okay.
I pounded out 14 Bud Lights. And if
Cool.
you think I'm skinny now, I was like 90
believe
pounds
it.
smoking,
Yeah,
soaking wet back
Smoking
then.
hot.
Smoking hot. It's a Freudian slip there. I get hammered. Somehow I get into the venue.
Okay.
And when you get in, it's just like a mile long of like grass.
Okay.
And then like in the front, like
Sure,
there's like
sure,
seats and then,
sure.
then the whatever.
Yeah.
So we get into the grass. I'm there for 20 minutes and I'm immediately projectile vomiting
Well, yeah.
in between my legs, just like
You drank your weight in Bud Lights, so yeah.
dead,
Yeah.
right? Not even 5 minutes go by and a cop takes me. So it's me and this cop. And when a cop takes you with these things, because it's
And
happened,
at this
we've
point, Greg
seen
does
it.
not have this haircut or this mustache, so he doesn't.
No.
The cop
Yeah.
doesn't recognize you as one of their own.
I was just a
Yeah.
young twink at the time.
Yeah, you're just-
You know what I mean? Trying to find
What?
myself. But I would go to these things because I was like, yo, I'm trying to hook up with a girl. I'm trying to like have my first experience with a girl. Like this is how you do it.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you come to these bullshit country concerts to get laid.
What?
Yeah, that's dude, bro. We got after.
Is
it.
that working
This
for
gets-
your friends? Where did you learn that this was the strategy?
Oh, I've seen some. I made out with a couple of chicks on the lawn at
Just
Susquehanna
a couple
Bank
of
Center.
baddies at the Susquehanna Bank Center.
Yeah, come on, dude.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I come to this. and I'm already taken by
That's
the
the only
cop.
reason you're there.
Yeah, I don't like country music. I'm just trying to fucking vibe out. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to
Respect
get
the man's
fucked. Yeah.
game.
Okay.
I'm trying to get fucked.
Okay.
When a cop takes you, usually that's done for you. They're going to call your parents, they're going to pick you up, or you're going to go to a drunk tank, spend the rest of the night there, and then they're going to pick you up.
Okay.
The guy was like, yo, like, or do you have like your parents are here? And I lied. I was like, nah, they're on vacation in Hawaii.
Okay.
Fire. Doesn't matter how drunk I am, I'm coming up with something good. Cop's like, all right, where we walk, we're hanging out, we're talking. We're not hanging out. He has me basically by the shoulders because I'm going to die.
Sure.
And we get to the bathroom, which is like a mile long.
Fireman carrying Greg.
Yeah. We're a mile down. We finally get to the bathroom. And when we get into the bathroom, all of the stalls are full.
Sure.
Except like he goes to the last one.
People are making out in them.
Yeah,
as you guys know, it
all the chicks I could have been hooking up with are just like hooking up with other dudes.
Sure.
He gets to one of the stalls. He knocks on the stall. There's a dude in there. He puts his badge over the stall. The guy opens the stall up. He leaves. So I get into the stall. And I'm like thinking, this is actually pretty nice of this guy. Because I'm going to come in here and I'm going to throw up. And it's just going to be like, kind of like he helped me get to my destination I should have been at originally, right?
Yeah, sure.
But then he gets into the stall with me.
What kind of story is this?
Which is a weird thing.
Okay.
Right? So I'm sitting on the toilet and I'm not throwing up, and he is in the stall with me looking down at me. And he says, and I quote, true story, Greg, you seem like a good kid. What can you do for me to help me forget about what just happened?
Is this real?
Yeah, 100%. Well, we can tag my high school friends in this post. They'll acknowledge this is real. And in my head, I'm thinking, I am about to get fucked. Like, I came in here to hook up with chicks, and I'm going to suck this dude's dick. Like, I have never banged a girl, but somehow my first experience is going to be with a grown up. I'm like, this is more of like a teenage girl thing to happen. Like, you got to deal with like older men. But now I'm going to blow this guy, and that's not going to be fun. And what am I going to tell people? Because I'm not gay, but like I don't have any evidence to tell that I'm not.
My parents were in Hawaii. I
don't have any evidence to say I'm straight when the only experience I have is blowing a dude. So I say, I can stop drinking. And he's like, that's not enough. I'm not making any of this up. I remember it vividly like it was yesterday.
I remember it vividly like I'd only had 14 Bud Lights. But I believe you.
No, dude, I'm telling you, the moment this happened, it's like,
oh, I totally get that. When you're drunk and you're like something bad starts happening and you're like, whoosh, okay, bro, wait, locked in.
Like something so bad. And I say that and he's like, it's not enough. And I'm like, all right.
This is crazy.
I have one of two options to say left. One, all right, dude, I'll blow you. And two, I'll give you money. So I'm like, hey, I have money. And he's like, now we're talking, right? So I'm like, I have $41 in my wallet. I will give you $41. And he was like, I don't want to be a dick and take all your money. And I just think that's hilarious. Because that's a very ironic thing to say.
Listen, I'm not trying to be a dick here and take all your money.
Right. And I'm like, well, it's out, so you might as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was like,
I'm not trying to be a dick. I just have mine here.
Yeah, he was like, I don't want to be a dick and take all your money. So I gave him $40. He left me with $1 in Trenton, New Jersey. He left me with $1 to get home. It's a 16-year-old white kid in Trenton, New Jersey. And then I give him the money and he takes it and just leaves. He leaves. He doesn't do he leaves. And I'm sitting there like, I would have rather blown you than have $1 in my wallet.
Oh my God, that is crazy.
Yeah.
That was a pretty cheap buyout, though.
I was going to say, that's like, I'm surprised 41 made it.
But you got to think about how many kids he's doing that to.
Yeah.
But also, what I will say is, so I go back, right? And when like you get taken, no one's ever going to see you again. So I come back, everyone is going nuts, dude. Right, they're like, shit, Melly, Greg, like what happened?
#free Melly.
They're like, what'd you do? I was like, I think I may have blown him. I think I killed a cop, blah, blah, blah. So I get back into the lawn.
You're like, I think I made it, but they're like, did you like blow in a breathalyzer? You're like, no.
I'm like, no. His dick. I get back in the lawn and I throw up for the rest of the night. And you know what? That cop was security for me the rest of the night.
Because you're his bitch.
I guess. But he was kind of like, I didn't get in trouble from anyone. I threw up the whole night. I'm
with you that $40 to me, I'm kind of like.
But how much money does a 16-year-old kid have on them? You know what I mean?
But I feel like, what the exchange rate being like.
He was probably thinking
a blowjob is $40. I'm kind of like, that
but you got to think about a blowjob from like an underage kid.
It's not gonna be
good.
It's
not going to be good. I never had one to even know what it's like to give one. So he was probably thinking, if anything over 20, I'll take it, but under 20, I think his blowjob's about $18.
I know you this long and I never knew. Okay, not to be drama, but I'm sorry that happened to you.
No,
Really
no.
crazy.
It's so funny.
Okay, it's so funny. Yeah.
It's hilarious because really like
It's funny because nothing bad
It's
happened.
funny because nothing bad happened, but I'm like, oh my God, like let's do like a sting operation on that guy.
But what's even funnier is then I went to college and I got a degree in criminal justice to like be a
You
cop.
have a degree in criminal justice?
Welcome to the first ever episode of The Old and Die On here.
You were like, and then
I'm
you're
Greg
like,
Melly, by the
yeah,
way.
Yeah,
what was
yeah,
your name?
Hi, yeah, Grace Lobo. Yeah. You're really far away. It was hard to shake your hand.
Yeah.
That's so crazy that you also like, what was your college essay? Like, yeah, I want to be a cop so I can like.
Some cops aren't bad.
Some cops are
Yeah.
actually entrepreneurs.
Some of them just want to be security.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, it was wild.
Okay,
So that's what I wanted to tell Zac Brown.
So you know what?
I was gonna tell
Oh
that
my
story.
God.
I was gonna tell that story to Zac Brown. I was
Zach
literally
Bryan, yeah.
Zac Brown. But then I
Oh,
heard it
sure,
was Zach
sure.
Bryan, and I was like, I
You're
probably
like,
shouldn't tell him
damn,
this story about another
I
country
never almost got assaulted at your concert.
Because I was thinking like Zac Brown probably has 100,000 people tell him like, oh, this is
your concert.
But my story has got to be the fucking craziest.
That's fucking.
It's such a long story. How did you even plan on telling him
that? Greg's like, I actually need to do 10 minutes.
I would have been like, hey, no more talking during the show. By the way, while I have you here, when I was 16 years old.
Yeah. Now picture this: I'm 90 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
Sorry, smoking wet.
Smoking hot. Sorry, Zach. Freudian slip. Yeah, just do the whole thing.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. That's what I wanted to tell Zac Brown. And then I heard it was Zach Bryan, and I was like, well, I'm never getting famous.
No,
I feel like Zach would have been like, are you kidding me? Open for every time I go on the road and tell that story.
Your winnings to lose $40 to Zach Bryan or to Zac Brown, but then get $600 from Zach Bryan. You got to be a Zach Bryan fan, I guess now.
Yeah, he scares me a little bit. He was a very like intense.
I think.
aura.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything. I'm not well informed enough on this.
He doesn't scare me like he was gonna chicken fry me or whatever the hell was going on.
Yeah.
But he just had like a dark. Not even
Greg
dark.
is playing chicken with his cough in the bathroom. Like
dark seems negative. Like I don't mean it like that, but he just has like a very like kind of like an intense aura around him.
Jesus.
So that was my night last night.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's fine. I got more stories that are equally as.
That's so 600. That's the biggest tip you've ever gotten.
Yeah.
What's the worst tip you've ever gotten?
You can't say that.
You don't have to say names,
You
but
can't
say
ask
numbers.
a server that.
Say numbers.
0.
Oh, I guess that's. I mean, I've been a server too. I got 0.
I got
before.
2 zeros last night. Anytime someone from Europe comes, they don't tip. They don't understand tipping culture.
Yours is different because there's a. Oh, actually, I'm curious about this because there's a.
It depends. Some people tip on most people tip on the cover.
Yeah.
We love that, but we don't expect it.
Okay, because I've gone and not tipped on the cover because I was like,
oh really? You're a terrible person.
Like I was curious if that is like what you're supposed to do or not.
You're not like we appreciate it. Like we need money.
You should
know what I mean?
do it if you like ordered 2 bottles of water.
Sure.
For like an hour and a half show.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
But if you ordered like a bunch of drinks, got food or whatever, just if it's a good tip without the cover, you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
I'll be angry if you don't tip on the cover regardless.
Okay, this is good
but
to know.
that's also just because
I was wondering it when the last time I went. I was like, are you supposed to tip on the cover? And then I would have Googled it, but you can't have your phone.
Yeah,
so I think I gave I didn't tip on the cover, but I gave like what would have been like a 30% tip on the pre because I was like, I'll just cover my bases.
Well, if you did look it up, Reddit, everyone says, oh, tip for going to this place is don't tip on the cover. Like that.
Yeah.
There's so many Reddit posts about it.
Like that's like what we expect.
Yeah.
When in reality, we'll talk so much shit about you. That's the best thing about like being a server. You realize the servers at any restaurant you go to are going to talk so much shit about you if
completely.
you are not good. Like immediately.
Yeah. It's
almost in front of you.
I have a theory. I'm curious what you think of this. I think that working in a restaurant as like a server or in any capacity should be compulsory, like military services in some countries.
You had me until you said the word compulsory.
Do you know what that means?
No.
Context clues, Greg.
Yeah. I think it should be, what do you think it means? Let's try.
Like that
military.
Jimmy Neutron meme or the meme from The Hangover.
Yeah, it is that.
Where, what's his name? The dude, the Between Two Ferns guy?
Zach Galifianakis.
Another Zach.
Is that Zach Galifianakis? Yeah.
It's Zac Brown. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't think it's like, it should be like mandatory.
Wait, okay, mandatory, that's what it means.
But I think.
Good job, Greg.
Shut up. You give Jack one microphone all of a sudden.
We're teaming up on it.
But now she doesn't want to laugh into the mic the first time.
Yeah.
She finally leans away. No, I like the confidence, Jack. Keep Keep working hard, Jamie.
Okay, tell us about.
Sorry,
what do you think?
I don't think so. I don't think. But I will say, if you work in a restaurant, it should be mandatory. And I've always said this, to work at least a couple of months as a dishwasher.
Months?
Yeah.
I think that's too long.
It's the only way you're going to understand.
I think you have to do a shift.
Because there's etiquette in everything, right? There's etiquette
there's
in every
a very
job,
rude way
to
approach a dishwasher.
There's especially etiquette within a restaurant, because if you think about it, the servers have the easiest job in a restaurant and they get paid the most. The chef is the reason why people come to the restaurant.
Sure.
They work longer than anybody.
Be an artist, blah blah blah.
But they get to work long. They have to work longer than anybody. They can't really take days off, and they don't get paid like the servers do.
Yeah.
Right. And then the people like the dishwasher get paid probably minimum wage.
Sure.
And they get treated
there's no
like
glamour
shit from everyone inside.
And they don't get
of
to
that
get like
place.
everybody. I feel like when I worked in restaurants,
because everybody has somebody lower than
everybody
them.
in the kitchen also, even though the servers are making more money, everyone in the kitchen is allowed to say whatever they want to the servers. And like the meanest things anyone's ever said to me in my life have been things that like I brought like a dish back to the kitchen and I was like, I know that they ordered it the one way, but they think. Like, I don't know, you know, when it's like, they didn't understand.
And you feel uncomfortable to tell the chef that because you know he's going to say something.
Uncomfortable is, I feel like someone has a gun in that kitchen is going to shoot me
but that's
for
what I'm saying,
like, and they act like they're like, are you fucking kidding me? And you're like, I'm not coming up with
because your red hair means you don't have a fucking brain?
Yeah. I didn't realize that like.
They start hitting you deep with some like childhood
shit I didn't know that
too.
the sesame seeds on the bun were going to be an issue for them. Yeah. They'll come at you with crazy stuff.
I'm like, oh, they wanted medium. They said this is medium rare. That's fucking medium.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a restaurant?
Of
course.
The vibe in a restaurant is shoot the messenger.
Right,
That's
you're the
the
messenger.
theme of. But I think like.
But the dishwasher dude.
The dishwashers don't get to do that.
There's etiquette. Like if you're bringing stuff back to the dishwasher, you
scrape
can
it off.
You can scrape it off and give it to them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like they carry trash around all day. It's a disgusting job. I worked it for a little bit. It was awful. You know, like it made me. I wanted to die. But now I'm like, like.
Okay, I think though, like, do you know when you go to a restaurant with someone who like clearly has never worked in a restaurant and you're sitting with like, I'll be at restaurants where someone like takes like a paper napkin and just like slowly rips it up into like tiny little shreds and leaves it on the table. And I'm like, are you out of your mind?
It's such a weird compulsion.
It's a weird compulsion. And also if you do that, like recognize it and be like, oh my God, I'm going to wrap this up in the other paper napkin and put it away. Not like
I'm going to save this for later.
Yeah, I mean,
for my
like, at least get rid of it. I don't know what, it's crazy.
But also like when we went out to like breakfast this morning, we put all the plates together.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God.
Things
my
like
mom doesn't like when I do that. When I stack the plates, I always stack the plates if we're sitting at a restaurant and like.
Because it lets you know when we're done, but it's also
makes
like,
your job way easier. Because the reaching over to be like, I'm going to stack up, like that's really hard.
But also people who have never worked in a restaurant think that that's rude.
Yes, they think it's rude.
Wait, really?
My mom thinks it's rude.
My friend was like, we were waiting for the check. The server wasn't coming around. We were kind of in a rush. She was like, oh, should we just like stack the plates so that they like get that like we really want to leave? And I was like,
the waiter comes over, thank you.
I bet you the waiter's going to come over and say thank you. And the waiter came over and was like, Paul, thank you guys so much.
Yeah. You really got him.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean, where it's like people who have never done it have no concept of like what you're supposed to be doing. And it's like.
But it's like, you got to be observant though.
I guess. Or just like, don't be a dick. Like, I think people forget that it's like.
But being a dick is based off of observational. Because like, you can be a dick because you were not, like, you didn't understand what's going on in the
Totally.
situation.
Being an accidental dick happens all the time.
Right.
It's the worst, but it happens.
Right.
Like, yeah.
But it's like, that's why you just got to be aware of like, bro, they're working. This is their job. You know what I mean? Like, this is like what you do when you go to the office and you're like, don't bother me. I'm at the office. Like, you're in their office right now. And also, you're in America, you're the only way that this person makes money. Like it's messed up that
they don't
like
understand.
servers,
no.
like it's a broken system that like my hourly basically will never be what it is on paper because of how many hours a week I work.
And you also pay to work at the restaurant. Like I don't think people realize that you're like you pay the bartender, you pay the busser. Like people don't realize that. I think when you land at JFK International, like it should be passport control. And also there's a video that's like,
ooh, I like that.
By the way, tipping.
Yeah. But do it like a those like slander commercials that politicians do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like
it's like Europeans. Europeans are known for never tipping. And then it's like a guy with a gavel being like
a European not getting tipped in Europe, but like going home to like a nice house because their hourly is good, but then the American server not getting tipped and just like asking for change in the corner of the room. Yeah.
They're like sleeping in a cardboard box.
Yeah, that's exactly what it should be. I would fund the shit out of that.
I also, oh my God, when you're with someone who's a bad tipper, it's the worst. It's so awful. It's so embarrassing.
But I would also, you're a woman, so that's much easier.
I'm a woman. Thank you.
I'm a man, so it's like I usually pay and then be like, pay me back.
I'm often paying when I'm out, but
you gotta start giving it up more. Dude.
I know, I really do. I really need to work on that.
Yeah,
but I'm not. So yeah, it's. I think I have friends from Europe, and they will sometimes come visit here. And it makes them so angry, the tipping thing, because they're just so frustrated. They're like, this is ridiculous that we have to do this.
I mean, it's expensive as is.
I know. I mean, I agree. It's expensive as is. But I'm like, it doesn't matter that you don't like this system. Like, that is the rule. That is how it works. Yeah. Like, I don't.
But it's like, you're angry at the system. Don't kill the person who works within it.
Yeah.
Because like, I should not be the scapegoat to your, especially, dude, working at a comedy club. I'm serving on you for an hour and 20 minutes.
You're
sometimes
serving on people.
Serving on you.
I'm serving cunt for an hour and 20, right? Sometimes
and that
people
is
come
hard
in.
work serving
Sometimes
cunt
when
for an
people
hour
come
20.
in, we've had shows that are 2 hours, 2.5 hours, like me on fucking hand and knee doing what you need, right?
It's the hardest job ever.
But the moment the show's done, that is when we collect the checks. So then I have everyone's check, right? And then I have to run it at a computer system that was made in 1970.
Of course it was, yeah.
But then they come up to me impatient, and I'm like,
30 cards too.
I just want to, I just want to punch him in the face, like, dude, I just waited on you for an hour and a half. You think I wanted to wait on your disgusting $0 tip ass this whole time, you motherfucker? You know what? I'm putting your card to the last.
Yeah.
That's the shit. When you start, like, when you're a server and you start to just like really, dig in. Really fuck someone over. Not really you're never doing anything that's like
nothing
obviously
illegal.
bad.
Yeah, I'm
never touching like anything.
Just delaying things a little.
I'm just gonna you want to leave? Yeah. Cool. You're gonna be the last one out of here.
Do you know what that's called? It's called malicious compliance.
Yeah, whatever that is.
So like at Starbucks now they have
There's so many C's in that phrase.
Malicious compliance. Yeah, it's like a tongue twister. At Starbucks they have a new rule where you have to. It's like corporate mandated, I guess. I've just seen TikToks of it, but it's like because obviously I can't afford to go to Starbucks. There's like.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm a Dunkin' girl, please. That's
okay. That $4.50 coffee.
Which now is already so expensive. Like, anyway, at Starbucks, they now have to write something on every cup as like a personal touch.
It's so like what?
It's
like
so
I love your hair.
Some from corporate, it's supposed to be like I saw these ones online. It's supposed to be like
nice boobs.
Yeah, or something. But I saw ones online that were just like wow, written in like horrible handwriting, and it's these people getting these cups where it's like a smiley face that's like drooping, and it's clearly someone just being like, "Fuck this!" Like I'm writing this
job.
Like,
I can't believe
thing.
it. I got arrested.
If you look up malicious compliance Starbucks on TikTok, it's just videos of these like employees at Starbucks being like, "Fuck you." But it's like. I don't know. I think the things you can do where it's like, oh no, I'm following all your rules. I'm doing everything you told me to do. What do you mean you're mad?
But it's like, it's just frustrating because it's like, and especially because I work at a tourist trap.
Yeah, totally.
So it's like, it's just very hit or miss sometimes.
I've been a waiter in 2 countries, not to brag.
Oh my God. Can I guess what other country it was?
Obviously it was in Ireland.
All this girl talks about is Ireland and red.
Yeah. It's getting red. I feel like the other thing about being a restaurant staff is just the amount that you are getting sexually harassed by every single person you work with.
Oh, that's a kitchen.
Constantly.
Yeah.
But in Ireland, it was everywhere. It was just
It's because nobody's sober. Yeah, wait. Can I ask you a question? I did a show.
You can ask me a question.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm good. Are you ready?
Yeah, I am.
Cool. So 2 months ago, right?
Okay.
The question's going to be coming up.
Okay.
I did a show and I was talking to these 3 guys from Ireland.
Okay.
And I'm doing crowd work and I'm talking about like, oh, like you're all in your early 20s, early to mid 20s, like how are the girls?
Yeah.
And they all had like celibate rings on and said how popular that was in Ireland.
Okay, when I was there, that was not popular.
And I was like, what do you mean? Like you're all drunk. Like you're,
yeah.
They're like, no, like I'm saving myself. Like we've never had sex. Like we're trying to find, because I guess it's also very Catholic in Ireland.
Yeah, but
so like there is that subsection of
Ireland is very Catholic historically.
I should never have gotten into Ireland. I'm gonna have a whole Wikipedia thing on Ireland now.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want this?
I would. No, I do.
Okay. Ireland historically very Catholic.
Yeah.
But Irish people now are not. I would say I would say Americans are much more religious than Irish people. Like Ireland, yes.
There's no way.
I'm telling you, I lived there. Like
no.
Irish people are much less like.
Jamie, fact check that. Fact check the percentage of Catholicism in America and Ireland.
Not percentage of Catholicism.
Oh shit, Grace.
I'm not saying percentage of.
But the diehards are diehards.
So people are less religious. So like young people our age in Ireland like would not go to church.
You think people our age in America are going to church?
I think not New York City, people are going to church. People in Ireland like.
Yo, what state would you say is probably the most church-going state in America?
Greg, I have the
Utah. Jamie, hit us.
Overall, a smaller percentage of the Irish population is actively religious compared to America.
That's bullshit. Who wrote that?
They would all identify
AI
as
overview.
Catholic. Like a large portion would identify as Catholic, much more than the United States. But in terms of like, it's like the way that like we were raised Catholic, but it's like, how often do you go to church? You know?
How do they take that stat? Is it like a census thing every 10 years? Like the cicadas, they come around?
You can tell just like you go to a church in Ireland.
That was
and,
funny. No one laughed at that. I thought it was good.
But thank you for telling us it was funny.
Yeah. Because it was.
In Ireland, like you go to church and everyone there is old. Like there's no young people. And here you go to church, most people are old, but there are still like people in their like 40s, 50s, even like 30s there. In Ireland, you go and you're like, oh my God. Like when my parents were in town, we went to church because my parents are practicing Catholics.
Right, same.
But there's no one practicing Catholics for my parents' age. Everyone who's practicing Catholic in Ireland is like about to die. Was my experience. I don't know anyone there goes to church.
What do you think it is that makes people want to go at 30 years old in America? Is it just how bad America is?
I think America is a more conservative place than Ireland. Like again, historically, Ireland much more conservative. But the people who stayed in Ireland have gotten more progressive. Like Ireland.
Where did the conservatives from Ireland go?
Like to the U.S. and then they like had, and that's, but like in
But why, like we don't want them.
Well, we have them. But I mean, they came here in like the like now we're the descendants of, but like Ireland's the first country to like legalize gay marriage by like popular vote or something like that.
I am not a descendant of the Irelands.
You're not at all?
No.
Really?
No.
I just assumed you were.
Why? Because we both have red hair?
How dare you?
Watch, it's going to come back.
I did just assume you were.
No, my dad's side is Welsh. So it's like basically,
that's kind of the same
you know what I
thing.
mean? It's the same thing.
No,
It's
they
just
like,
cooler.
they're
There's
the
a better
first
flag.
country to like legalize gay marriage by popular vote. They
Wait, Ireland was the first country?
They're like, there's some stat about
Jamie,
that. That's
fact check that? I believe it. I'm
it's
not
something
like,
like that. They did something that I
now
think
that now that she has a mic, I'm trying to get her to do everything.
Yeah, trying to change
Yo, first country to legalize gay marriage.
They like repealed the 8th. That was a big thing when I was there. They like,
repealed AIDS?
They repealed the 8th. The 8th was a law about abortion was illegal, but like right before I moved
You know what it probably was? Is because of their what was their mafia thing that they had?
Oh, it's not because of the IRA. It's because the Catholic Church in Ireland was so much more powerful than like the church ever was here. So people like really pushed back against it, and people are much more anti the church than they are here versus like here, like the government and there's much more separation of church and state.
Was there also a lot of touching in Ireland?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And there's all this stuff.
Yo, that's just what they do all over, I guess. Vatican City's probably the worst place to live if you're a small child.
Jaclyn has a number.
Grace was correct again.
Nice. I did not disagree. Also, I said, I don't know if you guys heard it.
You just wanted proof.
But I said, living in the Vatican City as a small boy is probably the worst place to be in the world.
Thank
you, Maxim. Thank you. Bang. I said that the first time. It didn't get enough because it was a goddamn fire.
American Pope.
But he's not, dude.
Nobody lives in the Vatican City except
no one
for
lives there.
That's not true. That is not true.
The Pope
Vatican City is like 400 people that live there, and they're not all religious people. It is a place that people live.
I've been there.
I've been there too.
God, you guys are so privileged. Also, now that we're on the topic, yeah, we're starting to bump mics.
Oh, yeah, we did bump
backwards
mics.
way.
Yeah,
we're starting to like bump the butts of our mics.
Okay, cute.
Yeah, the Pope is not like he's American, but he hasn't been in America since the 70s.
That's not true.
It is true.
Did you see the video of him at the White Sox World Series in 2005?
He was visiting America, but he's been working in Peru in the Vatican City since the 1970s. Also, shout out Peru. That was probably big for the culture back over there. We got to talk to Wilfredo about it. He's probably pumped. That was our tour guide. Wilfredo is my best friend.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yo, I'm not even lying.
Good, I like that.
It was great. We had some great moments. I was like, yo, what's it like? Like what's it like around here? You know what I mean? Like as a child growing up. And he was like, hard work.
That's beautiful.
He was like, yo, Jack, remember the story where he was like, he just built a road for his family?
Mm-hmm. He built a road from his mom's house to the main road because there was no road.
Okay, that's really sweet.
Yeah, he just built it. And then he was like, yo, this shit ain't working. And then fixed the road.
Damn.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Let's get him on the pod.
Oh my God, I honestly would die to have him on the pod.
Okay,
he is the coolest dude.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm into it. Okay, do you have other restaurant thoughts? Do you have any like a good restaurant story? Like one time I got asked to go to a nudist event with the table that I was waiting on.
Oh, that's like a high compliment.
It kind of was.
Were they women or men?
It was a male and female couple. They were married.
You should have talked about this in the 3-way episode.
Oh damn! I do have so many things where people really wanted me to be their
yeah, because you're like a leprechaun, like a unicorn. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Thank you for
like
calling me leprechaun.
somebody sees you with like red hair. They're like, "Ooh,
what's that?
This is what we've been missing to achieve our lucky charms."
Magic.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like
this little magic charm.
Yeah.
No, I had a couple. I was waitressing, and I was like, oh, what brings you guys into town? Because the restaurant I worked at was like down the shore, and there's like near like Long Branch in New Jersey.
Oh, okay, that's not far from where Jack's from.
No, it's really close to where Jack's from. But we were down there, whatever. We were like, I guess there's a nudist beach. Jack just left the room, and she could confirm.
She's probably getting
her. But she could confirm that there's a nudist beach like near that area, which I didn't know at the time. In Jersey,
that's probably the grossest nudist beach
I've been. It is.
Go.
A scary place. Well, the thing with a nude beach is no one at a nude beach is the people you'd actually want to see.
No, never.
It's not hot young people. It's all men and they're all old.
Because every hot girl that you would want to see at a nudist beach is selling.
We would want to see, yeah. Jack, do you know about the nude beach at the edge of Sandy Hook in New Jersey?
Oh,
yes,
shit.
I do.
No, Sandy Hook there's one in New Jersey.
And they're Connecticut.
I do. Also, only time I ever did acid, I went to a nude beach and it was a horrible experience.
That's a terrible idea. Yeah, that's on you.
I was with this really hot girl from England. Yeah. She was like, it's gonna be so fun.
Jack.
No, yeah, like the other people at the news beach, they were lucky.
Yeah, they got lucky.
They got lucky that
like
day.
How hot? What are we talking about?
She's really hot.
Jack was there.
She's like tall. She has like
tall. I'm out. I don't care. Don't even. I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
I apologize.
She sounds hot. She sounds hot.
Did she have a British accent?
Yes.
Oh, you're off to a really rough start. A tall
what kind
woman
of
with a British accent? Hello.
No, it was a cute one.
What kind of British accent?
It was a cute British accent. It was like
Hermione accent.
Posh,
it was like Hermione accent.
Posh isn't bad actually. Posh isn't bad.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what that reminds me of? Remember when we went to that restaurant in Peru? And those two British girls were behind us, and they were just the poshest girls you've ever heard.
Yeah.
Talking about whatever Birkin.
Me and Greg love to eavesdrop when we're out.
Oh yeah,
especially in another country.
Especially in another country. That's the dream of all dreams.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
This couple. I was like, what brings you up to, they were from Maryland, and it was like the off season at the shore. So I was like, oh, like what brings you guys into town? And like, they kind of thought about it for a second, and clearly they wanted to talk about it. And they were like, we're actually nudists. And I was like, oh, okay. And they were like, yeah, we're going to this like nude beach tomorrow. We came all the way up here. It's like the best nude beach on the East Coast, like blah, blah, blah. You should come.
Were they attractive?
Not at all.
Oh, God.
And they were old as well. It was like,
how old?
Probably like 60.
Hot.
I was like,
that's when it starts to reverse.
At the time I was 21.
When you're 50, I'm like, you're too old. But when you're 60, I'm like, it's like Benjamin Buttons. It starts to become attractive again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good to know about you. I don't know if I agree with that.
I was just kidding.
But that's my
that's nice.
Do you have any last minute things before we apologize about serving?
I don't have anything to apologize for.
Think about what we started the conversation with.
Yeah,
this was the Love on the Spectrum episode.
Yo, shout out to Love on the Spectrum. Shout out to Tanner and Jack Black. That video, adorable.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's nice.
Damn.
I'm so in love with the idea of the show because it's like, wait, Jack, we gotta tell Grace about the story.
Oh yeah.
This is hilarious. You want to know how close it almost nicked me? Dude, right here.
It being autism.
We're watching, it being autism. We're watching Love on the Spectrum, and there's this episode, right? And this guy and this girl are going out to...
They're at a zoo. I had already seen the episode with my mom, but I was rewatching it with Greg, so I knew what was going to happen.
So Jack has seen the episode.
Sure.
And I haven't yet. So they go to this zoo, and they show flamingos. Okay. And first thing I said was, yo, Jack, did you know that flamingos actually aren't born pink, but it's in something that they drink? I think it's the fluoride in the water they drink that turns them pink. And Jack starts dying laughing.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what? And she was like, that's the first thing this guy says when they go out. And so that was the end of that episode, right? And there was time, whatever. And then they go back to that scene in the next episode and they see the flamingos. And the first thing he says is, hey, did you know flamingos aren't actually pink? And I was like,
you're on Love on the Spectrum.
God.
No.
I will say my ex-boyfriend.
I do that all the time with animals. I know the dumbest shit.
You do know animal facts. I do it. Fuck.
It's
the only thing you know anything about.
It hit me so hard. Because like, it's one thing for your girlfriend to be like, oh, that's like a hyperfixation. Like that's kind of autistic. But then for literally love on the spectrum to quote you.
We'll get you on the show.
That's what I said.
You
I was
follow,
like,
you
I
have
think
a platform.
I think I would kill it on that show.
My ex-boyfriend was a little, his friends would sometimes be like, you're autistic, and it would come up a lot. And he was like, no, I know I'm not autistic. My mom had me tested for autism twice.
Oh, that's
which
bad.
Is so funny.
Alex Edelman has a joke about getting tested for it like so many times.
Well, it's also
and he's
just
like, how many times is the point where the mom needs?
No, but
you
I
to
love that the mom the results came back no, and the mom was like, can you run it back?
Opinion.
Like this can't just be his personality.
Second opinion,
like
second opinion.
Let's see how he does again. I don't think we need to. I mean, maybe I want to apologize. I don't know if we said anything about autism that was bad. I feel like we were mostly just saying they have hot moms.
Hot ass moms.
Sorry for considering them a monolith who all have hot moms.
No, I did the science Harvard research. I did the
believe you.
I did the fact checking. I read thesis projects.
I trust it.
They're all hots. It was a catalog. I was going through the photos. It was impressive. But I'm not even
PhD in hot moms.
In hot moms.
Yeah.
That's a next shirt. PhD in hot moms. But honestly, it wasn't even like it would be good. Because it wasn't even like that. They were like, oh, like I could see it. They were all fire.
Yeah.
Like genuinely smoking.
Yeah,
hot.
All right, calm down.
Yeah.
But Jackie's like, yeah, like they're super hot. All right, let's wrap it up. Let's apologize.
I think those are our apologies. Do we need to apologize to
Jamie,
the servers?
What did I do that was bad? I'm sure I said some.
Honestly,
I think you were pretty good this time.
You were pretty good.
You were. I had yeah.
I apologize to anyone who needs help with cops.
Oh, you're right. I forgot. That was
maybe we
could. No, yeah, I think we did a pretty good job today.
Yeah, good job, guys.
Yeah, nice. We actually we kept it pretty above board.
Reverse bump mics.
Yeah, it's not gonna hit. Oh, it's a little scrape. That's not nice. Anyway, this has been our podcast.
Yeah, it's been the pod. So, follow everyone on the Instagram.
Yeah, follow us.
Jamie over there is at jacksowack. This is Grace Lobo at gklobo.
Oh, good memory.
And then I'm Greg Melly at Greg Melly. Also, follow My Friend's Basement on Instagram. They're awesome.
And follow our actual podcast at Hill to Die On Pod on Instagram. And also, it's at Hill to Die On TikTok, which we post. Our last TikTok actually did kind of well.
TikToks are kind of killing it.
Yeah.
We consistently do well on TikTok.
Yeah, I would say
likewise.
So. Yeah,
ratio of it, and the comments are always fun.
It's all people we know.
Somebody recently commented whoever how did this blessing come up on my For You page?
Yeah, I will say someone also commented the other day, please, for the love of God, never post ever again.
I didn't see that one. That's awesome.
We're out here making friends.
Which video was that?
Yeah,
it was the animation of Greg's rap.
Oh,
it was banging.
Well, wasn't that the same comment where they said it was a blessing?
Yeah.
So.
Really?
Yeah. We are extremely radical.
Yeah.
Like we're polarizing.
We are polarizing. We're like a political party. There's just no more moderate anymore.
No, there's really not.
It's either you hate us or you love us. But I will say, I mean, even your friend, the rap's kind of catching along.
Oh yeah. Okay. So last thing, my friend, it was her birthday. I said, "How was your birthday?" It was a week after the rap episode came out.
Yeah, and she
responded and said, "This is my friend Serena. Shout out." She was like. She quoted your lyrics to say the lines to Cloud 9 and told me she had a good birthday.
So all I'm saying is if you want another bar or you want another rap, let me throw something up there. Because you guys make fun of it, but you guys are singing along. All right, that's been the episode, guys.
Yeah, we love you.
Thank you so much. Until next time.